Welcome back to the garage. Today we're going to do something a little bit outside of my knowledge and comfort zone, and that is manually mount those 616 NDTs onto the Jeep rims. And that's going to be done without a tire machine. So this is new and interesting for me, but I've got a Master Mechanic certificate from the University of YouTube just as soon as I go buy it from that big rainforest type store, you know. Alright, now as usual, I don't quite know what I'm doing, but we only learn by doing. So I've watched a few videos, I kind of get the gist of the process. They have given me some good groundwork to go on, and we're going to see about mounting these tubes and tires on these original Jeep rims that are in, pretty good shape. They look rustier than they are, I think. And we'll see how this goes. Alright, so as far as the order of operations goes, I've seen a few different approaches on this one. Whether it's right or wrong, I can't really say, other than that you need to get the tube in the tire, one way or another, and you gotta get the valve stem pointing at the hole properly. I think the path I'm gonna take is to get the tube into the tire, lightly inflate it, very lightly, and then fit it onto the rim. No flaps on these, they're not split rims, combat rims, excuse me. And we'll see about getting it started. I'm about to commit a bit of an act of Honda savagery. Don't watch. The cord is too short, so we're just gonna go right here.
A few moments later.
This may be the wrong move. Maybe I should get it on the rim first. Here's your random tip. If you ever find some of these little valve stem caps that have this little tool on them to actually remove the valve out of that valve stem, these might come in handy every once in a while. Alright, so first step is to get some kind of lubricant on the inside edge of that bead. Now, if you got that proper tire lube stuff, that's the good stuff. Hand soap, that'd probably be fine. Certainly that's sufficient. Use the hook in. Work it around. Fortunately, I'm not too concerned about the paint, because there isn't much. Saw another video on the topic and he made it look a heck of a lot easier. That took way longer than I thought it would. And I see why now. Rookie mistake. Only start one side at a time. That could have been done way easier if I just paid more attention. They also make these little retainers here. These are handy for holding the valve in place. Now, a little trick I learned from doing the Bantam wheels was baby powder on the tube. This helps slip around in there a little bit easier. Don't breathe this. Now this would have been easier on me if I hadn't inflated it so much. But at least I'm consistent about doing things the completely backwards hard way where possible. Alright, so hardest way possible. That's now on there. Now we start the fun part. I'm gonna soap up the other side. Also, dang, I need a haircut. Now let's try to get this is challenging. An embarrassingly long amount of struggle later. Looking at the timer on the GoPro, that says it took me about 10-15 minutes. Now, one of these days I'll be able to afford to invest in a proper air setup. In my zeal and impatience, I may have punctured one of the tubes. And there you have it. That took a lot longer than I thought it was going to, just for one tire. Difficulty? Meh. But now that I've done it once, maybe the next 3 will go faster. Alright, so what was probably a bits and pieces cut together time-lapse type video for you guys was actually like 30 minutes. Not good, but not bad for a first time doing that manually. So now I'll put it in time-lapse mode and do the rest, and we'll see how that goes. Okay, so in that much shorter time lapse, I will have 2 of these done. That was a chore, but at least it did go quicker. That's gonna be it for this part of the adventure. I've got 2 down, 2 to go. Once you get that first one out of the way, the second one was not hard at all. Lessons learned: don't inflate that tube first, at all if possible, at least on these. Dust it down with that baby powder. Get the first side of that rim over the bead, tuck it in there, because it'll slip right in when it's flat. Then go ahead and get the other side of the wheel on the other side of on the other bead, and then you add your air. Don't forget to put on that little valve stem cap to hold it in place so it doesn't just fall out while it's empty. Then air it up and keep inflating. It'll set the bead on both sides, and you're good to go at that point. On mine, I'm kind of leery on this one. I keep hearing this air hissing sound. I don't know if I might have punctured one of the tubes. I have a spare, luckily, if I did, but that might be the beginner's tax of wasting a tube. But I was able to inflate it up to a certain point. I kept hearing the hissing. I pushed on the valve stem, hear some air escape, let it kind of reseal. Inflated all the way up to 30 psi, and after that I didn't really hear the hissing noise, so I'm thinking maybe it was just air trapped between the tube and the tire. I don't know, I'm a newbie at this. But that's going to be it for now. No need to record the other 2. I'll do those probably tomorrow, and you'll probably see them just sitting in the background somewhere of an upcoming video where I keep working on these brakes, because there's no sense putting the wheels back on until I got the brakes done. So, thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.